Well, folks, this storm, some of it started in the overnight hours when we're sleeping, because when I got up to start my day, there was more snow outside than there was before I went to bed, but nothing was happening. Then, maybe like an hour after I was up, it started to storm, and it was said it's supposed to stop in the afternoon. From when this exact video is being recorded, it stopped about an hour ago, but now it's starting back up. So here's more storm footage, I guess.
Canada's travel experts for 20 years.
Sometimes cold Arctic air makes it all the way from Canada, the U.S., and down to the Caribbean. But taking a look at this forecast, the Dominican Republic, highs 27 to 30 degrees and lots of sunshine. For Thursday, if you're heading to Mexico, Acapulco, the Pacific Coast, there's Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Riviera Maya, both coasts, and over to Los Cabos as well. Sunshine and hot temperatures, and the heat goes up to 32 in Kingston, Jamaica.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by New Ricola Action Plus, naturally sourced effective relief for coughs and sore throats.
The latest blast of winter delivered a nasty blow to southern Ontario. It's left a lot of snow on the ground, and while it's still coming down in some areas, the worst of it is now behind us. We are also in storm watch mode tonight to keep you up to date on closures and conditions. But the reality is this punishing winter isn't letting up. We're now under a cold weather alert because temperatures are expected to dip to minus 15 or lower tonight. The big chill follows a day filled with huge pileups and headaches on the roads. But even though it really was a big mess out there, it was not a snow day for most students. Lisa Hefner begins our coverage tonight with a lot of parents angry and confused today. Lisa.
Hey, Nick. Yeah, so in Halton and Peel region, schools were open, but transportation was canceled. Here in Hamilton and in Niagara region, schools were open and buses ran normally. So a lot of parents are wondering about that. And they had a lot of problems on the roads as well. Mid-afternoon, the Lincoln-Alexander Parkway was slick, and before long, car after car plowed into the ditch.
When a whiteout, everybody hit their brakes, and sure enough.
One tractor trailer was pointed the wrong way in the opposite lane of traffic. Another was jackknifed to the side. Eventually, police closed the section between Garth and Upper Wentworth. Not far from there, parents were picking up their kids from school. Many wondered why they were there.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Really?
Yes. They're off last Monday. There's no snow today. Should have been a snow day for sure. When you know it's going to snow all day, I think the risk of driving, getting your car stuck, I just think that that's the issue.
This is too much snow. This is a lot of snow. Especially for parents like us who have to drive and pick our kids up.
The kids, however, were fine.
We played outside both breaks.
And what did you think?
It was great. We had a lot of fun outside, and we ate a lot for a nutrition break, too.
The city of Hamilton has said it is rationing salt because of a shortage. Hardware stores are having trouble keeping it in stock, too.
Well, salt situation is really not great. We are selling out of salt. We are out of some certain items, the bag salt. We still have the salt in the plastic containers.
Now that's more expensive, isn't it?
That is more expensive, but what we recommend is that it gets mixed with sand, so that will extend the product. We're selling as much sand almost as we are salt.
Shovelers are starting to feel like Sisyphus, the mythical Greek figure who keeps pushing his rock up the hill only to watch it fall and start all over again.
Well, you have to go up a little bit earlier to clean the driveway at home. I had a hard time coming to work, especially on Snake Road. Very slippery, and then come here and find all the snow here. Try to get business going, and it was make it a little bit hard.
So a lot of people had trouble keeping their cars on the roads today, and Hamilton police say that if you do have to drive, please keep lots of different distance between you and the car in front of you. Keep your headlights on and just take it easy. Drive slow. Back to you.
Police responded to dozens and dozens of crashes, and that meant several people were rushed to hospital.
One of the worst collisions was a head-on crash on Highway 20 in West Lincoln this afternoon. This was one of the vehicles involved. The front end is smashed, the engine had caught fire, 2 people were rushed to hospital. They plowed into a pile of blowing snow on the road and spun out of control.
Now, the roads are so snow-covered and treacherous out here that the first ambulance responding to this 2-vehicle crash couldn't make it up the hill at 30 Road and had to call another ambulance that was already up on the escarpment.
Driving was dangerous, with whiteouts, icy roads, visibility near zero. This megabus couldn't even make the curve coming off the ramp at Westchester on the 406. At one point, half a dozen cars were spinning their wheels on the ramp from the 406 to 58. They had to close the road to bring the plows in.
Coming from all the way, like from Valent?
Yeah.
I just crossed half of the way, now I'm going back because it's so bad, you know.
There were vehicles spinning out and crashing into the Jersey barrier, cars sliding into ditches. The OPP reported at the height of the storm in the Golden Horseshoe, they were getting a collision call every minute.
But it wasn't too bad when we crossed the border. It's just this is getting worse now.
One of the worst places was Grimsby.
It's terrible, really. It's all the roads are snow covered and slippery.
And the roads are still snow covered and slippery, Nick. And police have been saying all day, if you have to drive in these weather conditions, slow down.
Yeah, we can't say that enough. Okay, thanks, Lauren Savern, live tonight in Niagara Falls. Now, Lauren mentioned Grimsby, so let's check on what's happening in Grimsby right now. Elise Cobb's live again tonight at Casablanca Boulevard. And Elise, we know it took you a while to get there, so how's that drive looking right about now?
Nick, it's looking much better right now, but this stretch of the QEW here at Casablanca always sees plenty of collisions when we get a storm like the one we did today, and there was no exception here. Blowing snow stopped about an hour ago. We're still seeing a few flakes, but definitely much better driving conditions. A couple of hours ago, that was a totally different story. Back behind me, 2 tractor trailers jackknifed. That sort of started a domino effect. 3 cars that were going too quickly behind them couldn't stop in time. So all 5 of those vehicles ended up colliding. Several tow trucks had to be brought in to get them off of the road, and obviously backing up traffic behind them. On the other side, Niagara bound on the QEW, a 3-car collision left 1 car as a write-off. Luckily, though, none of these people seriously injured. OPP are saying that most of the collisions we're seeing today are single vehicles heading into a ditch, going a little bit too fast and spinning out. Luckily, no major injuries, but a lot of them sort of a domino effect because people are just going too quickly, not leaving enough space.
So it takes you a lot longer stopping distance. So your reaction time is a lot less when a motor vehicle just happens in front of you and you have icy road conditions. You can't stop like you would do on a dry highway. So if you do see plows in front of you with the blue lights, you must slow down. You must keep a safe distance behind them and let them do their thing. A lot of people we see is getting impatient. They try to pass the plows, and then that's when they lose control. Let them do their thing, and then that's for everybody's safety.
Now, even though most of the snowfall has actually stopped, there are still plenty of areas that have snow on the road, particularly the accesses. It's a bit dark, but you can see here on this off-ramp still a really decent covering. So as you're on the highway tonight, be sure to slow your pace down. And as OPP Constable Cayuette said, keep an eye out for snowplows. Make sure you give them plenty of room. We'll have more later in the newscast. For now, back to you, Nick.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Check in with you later. Thank you, Elise. Now,
there were 1,500 scheduled flights here at Pearson International, but 396 of them had to be canceled today because of the weather. That includes both arrivals and departures. When we arrived here just after noon today, there were 270 flights that were canceled, but that number grew all afternoon. The airport was pretty quiet all day, likely because many people checked on their flight status before driving here, but some people who have layovers or didn't check have been waiting all day for a flight to their destination. Some travelers I spoke with today had been waiting since 3 a.m. for a flight. The eastern U.S. was also affected by the weather, so some travelers had their flights canceled because of bad weather at their destination. And the Greater Airport Authority had 200 personnel removing snow from planes and runways. They used more than 100 pieces of snow removal equipment to clear the airfield. Many of the travelers we spoke with were happy with how the airport communicated cancellations, which is a contrast to how people felt about communication here at Pearson International during the last snowstorm.
They started calling it hardcore, okay, like, you know, like as far as being like hardcore porn. It means it's like, it's right down to the core, it's the real deal.
I couldn't fucking resist this incredible scene being under my fucking doorstep, you know, full of hatred for mainstream normalcy, just like I was. I mean, it was just like, fuck it, I'm diving in, I don't